Hello guys, ZDEyE here. So today I will be making a deep dive into the recent 18 minutes length gameplay of the Ghost of Tsushima. We have seen plenty of amazing and innovative things already, and today I will be also pointing out of the things that you perhaps did not see either. So without any further delay, let's begin this breakdown of Ghost of Tsushima. Heart of the design of the entire game, with a chirping bird, soft rattling winds across the game's beautiful world, and a soft tuned music for perfect harmony, as this presents us with a gorgeous look and the astonishing atmosphere.
So we've continually asked ourselves, how can we let the island guide you in the most thematic and immersive ways possible?
The very first look of the map of the Tsushima presents us with a very interesting choice of black, grey and white color scheme, a very nice tone of the Japanese classical samurai movies. And by the way, this size of the map only represents a small portion, since we did not get a full view of it. And that this is the biggest open world Sucker Punch has ever created. So let's take a closer look. First, we can see map, journal gear, techniques, collections, and of course options. Now that's self-explanatory. Now unfortunately we didn't get an opportunity of seeing each one, but yet it still has given us a glimpse of few later down the gameplay. While looking at the right side corner, we can also see the legend of the ghost, the wandering samurai, with a meter filled about 10%, to indicate of a level of how much legend stats we have increased. We can also increase it even further by dealing with the Mongols in the Tsushima. On the bottom left corner there with the name of Guiding Wind, well, that is when you mark something on the map, it will be indicated for your waypoint. In the map itself, we obviously see question marks, indicating unexplored areas by the player. While during the footage, the player puts a marker on the question mark, that we will need to pass through the Tagata forest. Also, if I may have your attention on the bottom right corner, there is a weird symbol perhaps indicating the next mission marker, and also some kind of temple right next to it. Perhaps maybe it's a save point. Lastly, if we take a look at the top right corner, starting from the right, this is an indication of supplies, but at the moment we do not know if there's any sorts of the currencies in the game, or how it looks as well. The middle one of the symbol of a flower, and more information on that a bit later down the video though. And lastly, a symbol of the Ghost of Tsushima. By the way, it's not well known what it means exactly though. Players can call upon the wind to show you the way at any time whenever you choose your waypoint from the map. It feels more organic as a waypoint system, rather than the overt visual element that takes away from the beauty of the game. For a second there, a player brought up 3 options from left to right to call your horse, health increase or maybe some kind of replenishment of your health, and wind indicator to see if you're still following the correct path. Top left corner, as you can see, waypoint indicator of how far you are from your destination, a convenient information, with a saving point on the top right as well. Your horse will not die. Instead, in combat scenarios, Mabu will run away after you can call him back. As we reach Kashina Hills, perhaps the player realizes that he's headed the wrong direction. Maybe it's just to represent as a sense of wonder of the gameplay. Oh, by the way, here you can also see exactly where it's located from the map that we are exactly at, the Kashina Hills. As you can see, the player also decided to bring out the wind by a press of a button to see the wind's direction again. The player quickly grabbed a resource material for bamboos. It seems that we do not have to get off our horse to grab the materials for the convenience and of course the efficiency. We get spotted for a glimpse there, but not discovered by the enemy humans. Similar indication from the Assassin's Creed games. It seems that when a player gets spotted by the animal, it's also indicated with a different symbol though. Now we have reached Yagata Forest, and here's the map of it. A logo pop up of the Yagata farmstead, which was discovered and that is in the Mongols' territory.
The guiding wind can take you to all kinds of locations in the game, like this farmstead that's been taken.
Rescue the hostages, 3 of them in this area, perhaps to complete the objective, and a bonus for killing 7 enemies without healing for more rewards. Now we do not know what are those other extra rewards.
Over by the Mongols. It can also take you to your next big story moments or even help you find rare collectibles.
And the rewards for taking over Yagata Farmstead gives us minor legend increase and 12 iron materials, but I do not believe that is also indicating of the rewards for the bonus accomplishment. Perhaps maybe it's a bit of a surprise.
You haven't seen yet, that you don't know exist. Keep your eyes peeled for other
smoke stats indicate people in need of help or locations for the collectibles. The visual cues in the Ghost of Tsushima are pretty much everywhere. Even birds will lead you to locations you might miss out on if you're not observant enough.
Stay away, my lord! The spirits of vengeful...
Pressing R2 to speak to an NPC, perhaps to begin a side quest or some kind of an interest point.
Let's go, Nobu!
Abandoned buildings can contain rare resources, as we pick up 2 linen and 13 supplies. The name supplies doesn't give us much room to understand exactly what it contains, but if it's self-explanatory to the point to maybe to expect food and random materials. By following animals, and not just the fox, might see a path to a hidden shrine to be uncovered. The more shrines you honor, as an example Inari Shrine, it needs to be unlocked with 2 more honored shrines, and it will unlock a minor charm. More about the charms later down the video as well. The moment you uncover a new location, fast travel is unlocked for the future use. The sense of adventure in a Ghost of Tsushima is never lost as long as you let the wind and the world guide you.
High mountain shrine, or maybe it's just a fox trying to show you something hidden in the woods. Either way, bring your sense of adventure and let the wind guide you.
Lord Sakai.
Hi, this is Nate Fox from Sucker Punch. Now, we just showed you some exploration, but let's switch gears and check out some combat. If you've ever seen a samurai movie, you know what to expect. Two warriors, sizing each other.
Jin can challenge enemies to a lethal standoff, allowing for instant kills just like in the movies. Notice when the indicator for the holding a triangle is indicated. This means that as soon as you let go of the button, you will initiate the strike. But you need to be on a precise timing, since if you let go too early, you can miss, get parried, blocked, or get yourself hit. Now this requires that you pay close attention on the opponent's movements. So as soon as he begins his thrust at you, you need to let go of the button to land a solid hit. Right after the second opponent enters the fight, it is not clear if you need to hold the triangle button again so you can do the second swing at the enemy. Now, personally, I think all you may need to do is simply press R1 button to land yet another hit. I think holding a triangle is when you want to draw out your katana at the right moment at the beginning of the standoff encounters. The main objective here is eliminating the war camp general and a bonus for killing 3 enemies with a half bow.
As you can see, the Mongols are everywhere on this island. For Jin to succeed, he has to use real, skillful precision in fighting them. No wasted energy, every strike.
Presumably here you have a dedicated button for pulling out a bow, perhaps pressing L2 button to aim and R2 to fire. The range combat can also help thin the horde. Your skills and timing will ensure your survival against the Mongols' groups. Now this is interesting, since the character is once again in a stance ready to be faced by the enemies in close vicinity. So maybe you need to hold triangle button again, and as soon as someone is near you, you can land an instant kill. But since the katana was not cheated, I think we are actually seeing here just simple as a block button. Maybe the character is holding an L1 button since we have just seen an arrow get deflected. On the bottom left it is indicated with the selections of available different bows, and on the right which types of arrows to use. Here are the normal arrows on the left, and on the top is perhaps the fire arrows. Pressing R3 perhaps indicating for more precision with a slowed down time and getting more chance to aim at the enemy where you want to hit them exactly. Parrying attacks at the last moment will open them up for the punishment and deflecting the arrows. This movement perhaps was to dodge an upcoming attack and quickly strike back, making this an insta-kill with an amazing animations. We have just seen a yellow particle effects indicating that this was a parry, blocking an attack at the right moment just before getting hit, as this also rewards you with a one-hit kill. As soon as we face a different opponent, we actually see an enemy docking or crouching. Well, he actually did that on purpose, because of the arrow behind could have hit him, and actually that's a very nice touch. Now we're at the moment where we simply see strikes that are being showcased. An enemy trying to block, as you can see on the top white line filling up, at the end being shattered, meaning that enemy can no longer block for a period of time. This was an insta-kill move, so when you take a look on the bottom left corner, you can see the yellow circles that were gradually being filled up with every kill that you have performed, but when you initiate this specific attack, you can deal a devastating blow onto the enemy. It is also very cool that we can actually see gusts of wind follow your movements and the sword swing as you performed it. We actually see here Jin change from stone to water stance, and there's definitely going to be more as you progress in Ghost of Tsushima. And different stance will work best against specific enemy types, kind of like in Nioh 2. Now we're down to the last two Mongols. We've just dodged the first strike with a block and started pressuring the opponent by mashing R1 without letting him strike back. At the end, we broke his block again after we have diverted our attention back to the last Mongol with the bow, missing us in the process with the arrow. At that the last Mongol opponent wanted to die, we made sure of that. With the last few simple attacks was his doom. The last Mongol was easy to deal with, since we deflected the arrow again and struck twice to put him out of his misery with his poor skills using that bow. Pay attention to this wide gesture. Now, we can understand that signifies to get rid of the blood of your katana, but what makes it unique to me that is possible for it to be a dedicated button. So we can perform this action whenever we want. After we sheathed our katana and paid respects to the dead, well, even though I kind of mocked him.
Okay, so that was Jin fighting as a samurai. But now let's see him take on the same group of Mongols.
Stealth is also an important tool for Jin, coming up against the same group of foes but this time with a different objective by destroying black powder cache. As well as we can see there's an option for a standoff. It's well actually confirmed that no matter what you wear or how you can take on the enemies, all the options are in your disposal. Basically, you can be a ninja one moment and the next a samurai, or vice versa too. It's also have been confirmed that the game will be quite challenging, since when you can pretty much one-hit kill enemies, and so that means that they can do the same to you. Now there are more and different options. On the left, you can throw a rock to distract enemies, half bow on the top, and a long bow on the right. But when we go over the right side, here we can see a wind chime. So it's not a rock, but instead it looks something like this in Japan. Now obviously this makes noise and can be perfect distraction. Perhaps it was like a little bit modified and maybe also it was I have never seen before too. So right at the moment when a character throws it, we can see a little blast of wave around the impact from the landing, created for a great distraction. Or an interesting fact that the enemies can pick it up to inspect it, but if you have an Omamari charm equipped, specifically Charm of Toxic Demise, basically that anyone picks up the wind chime, it will release poison vapors and result killing your enemies quietly. On top we can see here a firecrackers, perfect to distract multiple enemies. We will see a bit of a demonstration in the later down the gameplay. Lastly, on the right, well, there's an interesting one, since we do not know what it is exactly. Well, by the symbol design, I would have to guess that it's some kind of an explosive. Maybe it's like a sticky explosive that can stick to the enemies, like it has been done in this clip. It also has been reconfirmed that this game will have options of difficulties that you can choose. Okay, here's the moment when we finally gotten a proper name of the yellow circles on the bottom left corner, including what the functionality it serves. They are called resolved meter. Since you can land hits and kills, it will increase, and you're capable of pulling through devastating and flashy attacks. And lastly, these points can be used to heal yourself, so somewhat similar approach from the Spider-Man PlayStation 4 game. A soon as Jin equipped a longbow, we can see that it has a heavy arrows as an option, and perhaps on the top is maybe an explosive arrows. Also, it seems that for every bow there are different arrows that you can have, but at the moment that is not exactly confirmed, so maybe you could use a heavy arrows on your other types of bows as well. Pay close attention in here. We can see this lantern being shined. We still do not exactly know what is the purpose of it, but I would say it may be an opportunity for a distraction when you can hit it with an arrow from the distance. An option to assassinate one enemy or multiple with a chain assassination. There was this very small moment of an option to slaughter this specific enemy. Perhaps he was too far to assassinate, or he was one of those special enemies. At this moment we can also see stances availabilities. We are on the stone stance while playing as a ghost ninja. On the left we can see kunai, on the bottom smoke bombs, and the last two we have no idea of course as of yet. By a press of a button using smoke bombs to stun an enemy for an easy prey or to evade from the action. We also just seen this enemy survive a critical blow and finally being put down for good. As I mentioned, he was most probably one of those special enemies. The player briefly equips kunai, the perfect small blades for quick assassinations at the distance. These kunais are not like a normal kunai, since this character was capable of throwing 3 at once, in result killing off all the enemies in the vicinity. Enemies lose will to fight, well, since you killed one of their toughest enemies and so many of them as well. A very nice addition, since more you conquer as Ghost, more enemies will lose the will to fight. Right here there is this shiny object that can be interacted, presumably to replenish your arrows and maybe some kind of different resources too. Grappling hooks are used to climb or go across the gaps. A nice addition but limited, as you do not have this option to use it freely everywhere, but in just the designated places only. By the way, you can see here that you can actually pick up the arrows from the corpse to replenish for your own. There's plenty of options when it comes to armor for Jin. It is more than just a visual touch.
Around as the Ghost, Jin had on a different set of armor. That's because the armor in this game actually gives you different mechanical advantages. It's not just the way it looks. It helps accent your chosen playstyle. As you explore the world, you'll discover Omamori.
As you can see here, we can see an Omamori charms. The named Charm of Okuninuchi, as it gives us a slow recovery while out of the combat. Charm of Toxic Demise, as wind chimps release poison vapors that kill enemies who pick them up. Charm of Unseen Respite, a smoke bomb restores 25% of your health. Kinda sounds very useful too. Honing your skills will also grant you different techniques depending on how you want to play the game. Finding dye flowers also gives you an ability to change up the color of your armor, making for a Jin that is truly you.
It wouldn't be a Sucker Punch game if it didn't have photo mode.
Sucker Punch has included robust features to showcase their game and its all the glory, such as the depth of the field and color grading, and really bring out the motion and the movement of the games in life. Even the particle of leaves and the fireflies can be adjusted, alongside the music, making for an amazing videos to accompany your glorious shots.
Select a track of music from our original score that might be a little bit more fitting. So if you're into doing a photo, or maybe you actually want to do a video, there's something here for you. Here's a few that I've created.
In the photo mode, we can actually see here that Jin is holding on to the rope, indicating that we can climb hills and perhaps mountains as well. Perfect for a game featuring Japan and its samurai. Experience the authentic experience of Jin's adventure with the help of the subtitles. This can be activated right from the very start. And here's the translation of the specific scene as well. We actually have already heard it since the last story trailer of the Ghost of Tsushima.
お侍様の戦い方じゃない。何を申す。
お侍どころじゃないよ。このお方は猛虎を打ち滅ぼすため。
I've never seen a samurai fight like that. It was nothing.
You're more than a samurai. He is a vengeful spirit, back from the grave to slaughter the Mongols.
If you want to push the experience even further, you can enjoy Ghost of Tsushima with a windy black and white film grain mode that truly echoes the classic of the old. The smooth action coupled with the lack of color certainly evokes another feel altogether, quite like nothing we have seen so far. Alright, this was absolutely everything that I could have spotted in the Ghost of Tsushima's gameplay. It was a very long and a lot of stuff has been showcased here. Now, I understand that I might have missed few things, but also I did not want to point out absolutely everything that was also pretty obvious. And yet there are still things that I definitely could have missed. Please let me know down in the comments. Now everything that was showcased here is simply stunning and incredible to say the least. Some of you may have also noticed that there are a few elements inspired from Assassin's Creed games and few other games too, as such as the similar icon when being spotted by the enemies or in general completion requirement of the bandit camps. It's not to say that it was necessarily copied, but perhaps I should say inspired. I definitely need to say that seeing the way to navigate the world with the help from the gust of the wind or animals to guide you is extremely innovative and ingenious move. This and many more different variety of options and features in this game already sets it apart from the most of the open world games, as this being one of the kind and shouldn't be taken lightly. With the brilliant ideas and innovations that has been implemented here, is just simply breathtaking. Thank you so much for watching this video. Ravenstar and Lucas Gabber, thank you also for the continued support on my Patreon. Any of you, if you wish to support me on Patreon, please do take a look, links down below in the description. I recommend you to check it out at least, since they also offer extra rewards as well. Thank you again, like and subscribe, hit the bell notification as always, and I will see you all later.